Thank you for joining us on Black Investments Matter. I'm Antoine Anderson. Today we're going to be talking about gentrification probably at its lowest. It's a dispute between a 93-year-old great great grandmother and a developer. You're not going to believe this. The Gullah Geechee people of Hilton Head Island have always faced some serious adversities when it comes to these greedy land developers trying to get whatever they can get off of their land. It's just a way of life now for these people, these proud people. Now, what we have here is a story of uh, Josephine Wright. Josephine is 93 years old, bless her, and she's being sued by a developer based out of Georgia. And this is according to the Post and Courier on the Hilton Head newspaper. And Josephine was asked to sell her land. Now check this out, for $39,000. We're talking about Hilton Head, South Carolina, $39,000. This is what they wanted to sell her land for, or wanted her to sell her land, which, by the way, was not for sale and has been in this lady's family since the Civil War. Yeah, you heard me right. It's been in the family as generational wealth since the Civil War, and they want to offer $39,000. This story has gotten the attention of Tyler Perry. Kyrie Irving donated $40,000 via a GoFundMe page for legal defense. Bakari Sellers is involved in this, CNN anchor and former state rep in South Carolina. Uh, yeah, you heard me right. Sellers said he was enraged when he heard about Wright's situation. He noted that while he's not representing Wright, he has discussed her case with the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and other prominent civil rights attorneys, including Ben Crump and Harry Daniels. They go on to name the investment or development firm that is doing this. But let's talk about what's in the lawsuit. It was filed back on Valentine's Day. Okay, crazy. The lawsuit asserted that three items owned by Wright encroached upon the 29-acre parcel owned by Bailey Point. Again, we're talking about 1.8 acres of land, and they're saying these three items encroached on their 29 acres. They're trying to build a 147 unit residential development on that property. And they said those three items were a satellite dish, a shed, and a corner of a screened in porch. Now, according to the filing, the encroachments have significantly delayed and hindered the development of Bailey Point's property, costing the developer considerable time and expense. I can't imagine. Okay. They went on calling Wright stubbornly litigious. The suit seeks compensation for the current and future damages caused by this encroachment of a satellite dish, a corner of a shed, and her screened in porch. Wright's attorney, Robert Vaux, in his response denied the allegations made by the developer. The attorney said that after being informed that Wright wasn't interested in selling the property, the developer and his agents began a consistent and constant barrage of tactics of intimidation, including this litigation in an effort to force her to sell. Again, remember, they offered her $39,000, and we're going to get to how disrespectful that was. Graves said the acts of intimidation included flattening the car tires and the placement of a venomous snake near a bedroom window. All right. This is what the attorney's alleging. Sleazy stuff. Now, despite the intimidation, Wright and her supporters are steadfast in their resolve to hold on to her family home. 93 years old, and you got to fight a developer. This is beyond sleazy. I can't stress how angry this story made me. But here's why. Here's where you're going to get angry. This is a picture or a map of the items or plots for sale on Hilton Head Island right now. You zoom in, and the area where this property is on Jonesville Road in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And what you notice around here, you've got plenty of land for sale in the several hundreds of thousands, up to the 2 million and 3 million type. Let's zoom in the area where we're talking about. There's a plot of land for 75K. How many acres is this, you ask? Oh, zero point 0.08 acres. $75,000. That's what the asking price is. But that's a little bit ways away from the road that we're talking about, Jonesville Road. And I can only assume that the stretch of land that this developer is trying to own, trying to develop, has to be this area here off of Jonesville Road, and her property, so they say, is encroaching upon it. Not sure if this is the house, but I'm thinking it has to be talking about 1.8 acres of land. Yeah, I think that might have to be it because that's the only parcel of land that is joining any undeveloped areas of this property. Yeah, so a satellite dish, a shed, and part of her covered porch, they claim was encroaching on their 29 acres of land. So they sued the woman. This is gentrification at its absolute worst. And if you don't recognize the evil intent behind that, you never will. The biggest obstacle to generational wealth building in this country has always been the type of one sided bad dealing that often rears its ugly head when it comes to the acquisition of land from a specific ethnic minority. These deals never go the way uh, any reputable business would do. We had that rash of gentrified areas in Atlanta. Atlantic Station was one of them. There was Cabbagetown. There was Mechanicsville. All of those areas over there were, pretty much all black during the '60s, '70s, '80s. When the developers moved in, they bought the land on the cheap, developed it, and that Atlantic Station area, by and large, right now, an apartment on one of those high rises will cost you about $1.5 million. They bought land on that stretch of road in Atlanta for as little as $20,000, maybe 5 years before. Microsoft now sits on some of that property. Yeah, Microsoft built a facility there. Um, it's that serious. And when you do this, you inflict so much damage on the notion of building generational wealth that it is no longer feasible for those families to even begin again. Again, this was property that had been in this family for over 200 years. And now we're looking at losing it because you didn't want to sell for the measly $39,000. It's it's beyond sick. I am glad that the likes of Tyler Perry, Kyrie Irving, Bakari Sellers, and a few others have gotten involved in this particular outrageous example of greed. Um, this is not going to end well for that company, but the the problem that we have here in this country is this is not the only uh, situation where minority families are facing that, especially in this economy. So what I want to do is stop here. If you have stories like this where you know of a family, or if you're going through it yourself, as what's happening here with me in my home, a lot of developers are throwing around money, not small amounts like what they tried to pull on Miss Wright, but still not enough to for individuals in this neighborhood that I live in to move out and find another home anywhere near this area. It's just that bad. So again, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Haven't decided how we're going to address this. Right now, there's some pretty big hands involved in this, so all we can do is support those hands. And I believe this is going to come to a peaceful resolution, as the developer has not responded to any request by any news agency to speak out on his behalf, because this is such a sleazeball move. I guess they're kind of distancing themselves from this. But the one thing that hasn't happened to my knowledge thus far is that they've pulled that lawsuit. So we're going to continue to watch this, and I hope you do too. Thank you for watching. Talk to you very, very soon.